that while the prosecution of drug traffickers remains an important priority, the President and the administration believe that targeting individual marijuana users, especially those with serious illnesses and their caregivers, is not the best allocation of federal law enforcement resources.
If you're an adult who enjoys a good beer, there's a similar product you might want to know about. One without all the calories and serious health problems. Less toxic so it doesn't cause hangovers or overdose deaths, and it's not linked to violence or reckless behavior. Marijuana, less harmful than alcohol, and time to treat it that way.
Coming as it did as the White House, as you just heard, was announcing that the feds were no longer going to prosecute small amounts of pot, that spoof beer ad seen by fans attending the Brickyard 400 races at the Indianapolis Speedway caused quite a stir. Mason Travert's Marijuana Policy Project made the ad that aired at NASCAR. Mason joins us tonight from Colorado. Well, in Gainesville, Florida, we're joined by Dr. Scott Teitelbaum, spokesperson for the Drug-Free America Foundation. So, Mason, how'd you get the idea to air the ad at NASCAR of all places?
Well, you know, this is an important message that marijuana is objectively less harmful than alcohol. And a race like NASCAR is a great place to get that message out. It's obviously a place where the people attending it, as well as the organizers of the event, accept that adults should be allowed to use alcohol responsibly. And we're simply pointing out that marijuana is less toxic than alcohol. It doesn't cause nearly the serious types of social problems that alcohol does. And it shouldn't be a crime for adults to use it.
But you knew that it would cause all kinds of, all hell would break out once people realized what they were seeing. I mean, even though I believe, don't get me wrong, I believe that across the ideological spectrum, I like to say that I don't know anyone who hasn't tried pot. But on the other hand, it does have a kind of a conservative atmosphere. The people who dig NASCAR tend to be from the great heartland. You knew it was going to be a bomb exploding in the social consciousness. You were pretty clever in your placement, weren't you?
Well, you know, honestly, I think that NASCAR fans, like anyone else around the country, they're smart. They can understand the facts when they see them, and they see that marijuana is safer than alcohol. We saw a lot of interviews with fans asking them what they thought about the ad, and they said, of course we agree. And you know what? 53% of Americans now think that marijuana should be legal, and so it should be considered a little weirder or crazier if someone thinks we should still be criminalizing adults for using marijuana.
I bet Dr. Scott Teitelbaum thinks that about criminalization and the continuing efforts by law enforcement to crack down on pot. Do you view the ad with dismay, Dr. Teitelbaum? Do you feel that you're losing this battle?
Well, first of all, let me correct what you said there. I'm a professor of psychiatry and pediatrics at the University of Florida, and I'm a medical director of a treatment center, University of Florida, Florida Recovery Center. So when I look at this issue, some of the ad was actually disingenuous and it's not accurate. Although, in terms of acute toxicity, alcohol is more dangerous than marijuana. Marijuana certainly has numerous adverse health effects, including addiction, impaired driving, which is a significant problem, and significant mental health issues. The use in adolescence, which has increased dramatically over the years, is associated with schizophrenia and worsens certainly significant psychiatric issues. So my concern is with people that struggle with drug and alcohol and co-occurring psychiatric problems. My worry is about those people and the youth. And certainly anytime you smoke a substance, that's not good for one's body. So the fact that the smoking of marijuana, the addiction issues, the other mental health issues, and the drug driving are all very significant issues associated with marijuana.
I get that, Doc, but first, are you or are you not a spokesperson for the Foundation for Drug-Free America?
I represent they contacted me. I work for the University of Florida, as I articulated. I'm a professor and a medical director of a treatment center, and I have been so for 16 years.
Okay, now the second part of my question was, do you feel like you're losing in this battle for the hearts and minds of the American people? And indeed, medical marijuana spreading even in New Jersey with a relatively conservative governor like Chris Christie. Do you feel that you're losing?
I don't. My job is to treat people that have problems and to help educate the public. Medical marijuana, drugs that are used for medicine, A, shouldn't be smoked, and B, shouldn't be voted on. They should be judged by the FDA, and there's a policy and protocol and to test drugs, whether they're safe, whether they're efficacious.
And so do you view with dismay the federal government decision not to prosecute small amounts of pot anymore?
I stay away from the issue. I think you have to be careful. Public policy does influence public health. My concern is public health, and we have a significant public health problem in this country with addiction, and we have a dramatic increase in the amount of youth smoking marijuana at a much younger age. Keep in mind, in 1962, only 2% of the population used any illicit substance. Now you look at 8th graders, you're up around 15% have smoked pot.
Okay, Mason, what about that? I'm going to give Mason Tvert the final word. What about the doctor's health concerns, Mason?
Well, the doctor seems to be a little mixed up. If he's truly concerned about public health, I do not understand why he would not want to allow adults to make the choice to use marijuana instead of alcohol. You know, researchers at the National Institute on Drug Abuse have found it's far less addictive based on a number of indicators. It's far less toxic. Alcohol contributes to 37,000 deaths per year based on use alone. Marijuana contributes to 0. Okay. And alcohol contributes to all sorts of violent crimes, and marijuana doesn't. Why would we prefer adults drink when they might otherwise want to make the safer choice to use marijuana instead?
Okay,
I think I'm not the one that's confused.
Okay, on that final note, Dr. Titlebaum gets the last word. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate it. And I still believe that it's like gay marriage. The ship has sailed in terms of marijuana legalization. You know, like it or not, I think history will point to this particular period in history as the time it shifted.